Good day and welcome to Elevating Today, our podcast where we feature great clients, community leaders, and our friends, and we learn about their successes in business. Today is Elevating Season 1, Episode 5, and we're going to talk to Michael Thiel. He's an entrepreneur and a good friend, and really excited to have him on. Before we begin, I want to send congratulations to our Tampa Bay Lightning. If you don't know them by now, they are the 2020 Stanley Cup champions. In the condensed season we had during this pandemic, the Lightning fought and won in every part of the playoffs, and then they took home the cup, and it was a really exciting series to watch. And I really want to congratulate the team. I had the honor of visiting with the cup and taking a picture with it. You'll see on the screen here shortly. And it was a cool experience for me to do that. And we haven't had the cup in Tampa since 2004. Much has changed in our community during that time, and including the emphasis in sports in our city. As you know, we've had many college championship games and great national events, just like our Super Bowl that's coming here in February. But we want to congratulate the Tampa Bay Lightning today. So use hashtag Boltsboro to join the conversation and wish the team congratulations on Twitter. Again, thank you for all the fans and support. Let's go Lightning and go Tampa Bay Sports. We're going to be hashtag Team Tampa Bay. Enjoy today's podcast. Good day. This is Aakash Patel with Elevate Inc., and this is Season 1, Episode 5 of Elevating Today, our podcast. We're so excited to have my friend Michael Thiel as our guest today. Michael, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
Now, Michael, you've got a great international history in business and entrepreneurship, and a lot of people watching might not know the whole story. So tell us about your career and how you got to Tampa, and what business lines are you in?
Well, I started personally my first business in Germany when I was 16 years old. It was a printing company, which I sold 5 years later, and I had $10,000 in my pocket, which as a 19 or 20-year-old, I didn't know what to do with it, so I went to Paris and blew it in a week. And that told me that, like, wait, making money is real simple, and spending it is even more fun. So then I started businesses, and our first main business we started in 1987 in Germany, called IC Intracom, and simultaneously we started an office in Taipei, Taiwan. At the time, we were the first non-Chinese company with a majority in any business in the country of Taiwan, and then lived there for 3 or 4 years. After that, we started a business here in Tampa, Florida. And the reason why we did is because my business partner then and today originates from Tampa, and he had the need to come back for personal reasons. And when he did, we said, all right, let's start an office. And it kind of mushroomed from there. We have offices today in Mexico and Argentina, in Italy, Germany, China, Taiwan, a factory in the Philippines. So we've kind of been all over the place. We're, like, I guess, serial entrepreneurs, and whenever we see something shiny, we have to at least check it out.
Now, so you first started in Germany, then you said Taiwan is where you live next? Mm-hmm. What was that like as a young business leader, changing your whole
Formative. It was formative. I remember the first night I left my hotel and walked down the street, and I saw a butcher, except all they were selling was dogs.
Oh my gosh.
No, true story. And I'm like, I need to get out of here. And so that was weird. But again, that was actually before we started our own business. That was in '85, so it was many years ago. I don't think they have that anymore today, but that was weird. The climate is so different from what we are experienced, what I had experienced coming from Germany at the time. Of course, it's quite similar to the climate in Florida. The language, the cultural aspects, the people's behavior amongst each other, it was formative. And it happened at the right time in my age, because I was young enough to allow for my environment to change my outlook of life. I believe that every young person must leave the country to live somewhere else for an extended period of time and emerge in different cultures. I think that will benefit them for the remainder of their lives. And I'm so grateful that I had the opportunity to do that. I also lived in Ireland, by the way.
Wow.
As a young man. That was equally formative. That was a good time too. Made friends back then that last to the present day.
Now, most entrepreneurs, serial entrepreneurs like yourself, they have a different style of how they operate, and especially ones with partners. You have to split up the duties. What is your style, and how do you work in such different industries, different countries with all of these employees in different time zones? I mean, how do you balance their life and your logistics with your business?
Are you asking about work-life balance?
Correct,
Is that your question?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, it helps that I only do what I'm passionate about. So I have no incentive or reason or to walk away from what I do professionally. What I do professionally happens to be my hobby as well. So, and if it bores me, I don't do it. And I get quite easily bored sometimes. But I've been able to create a professional environment that enables me to do exactly what I like to do. Now I have a family, I have 4 kids.
Wow.
And I spend a lot of time with my kids, so I'm not a workaholic, I don't think. I just work out, I read, I have various other hobbies. But the main point is, I think everybody should do exactly what they're passionate about professionally. You know, I know you do.
Yeah, no, you got to love what you do because then it's not work,
But
right?
too many people do what they do for the sole purpose of making a living.
Correct.
And that's sad.
Yeah.
That's sad. I think so. Work-life balance to me is an automatic thing. It's not an effort.
Now, you and I have talked about COVID-19 because we got to know each other better before COVID-19, then the pandemic hit, and then we started working, and we are so grateful for you to work with Elevate Inc. And I think one thing you shared with me, you know, you're normally not here. You're normally traveling to a different city or different country for work reasons because you have to take care of business. Now,
Yes.
how has that really impacted your lifestyle and your business?
You mean how has COVID?
Yeah.
Yes, I used to travel probably 12 days out of the month, which it's always been that way. So my family life was used to it, and it was just a normal thing. I never thought twice about it, or sometimes more than 12 days in a month. And now, of course, it's 0. All my travels were internationally. Really no national travel. So now it's 0. I spend a lot of time on Zoom, probably 4 or 5 hours a day on Zoom. And I find it actually more effective than travel. Because think of this, when I travel from here to Germany and back, you lose 1 day on each end of the trip, right?
Correct.
To go there and to come back, you lose 1 day. And then when you get there, and get to my age, your time change, your jet lag can no longer be ignored. It's there. So you're a little drowsy on your first day. There's nothing you can do about it.
Right.
So if you're only gone for a week, then you already have 2.5, 3 weeks lost with doing nothing. And then the other days are hyper intensive. And then you come back and you have a whole bunch of stuff stacked up on your desk that you have to catch up with. So you constantly play catch up. Now, everything is much more distributed equally over time. I have this 1-hour meeting, and then I will follow up on this, and then that 1-hour meeting. So I think that if COVID was to go away tomorrow, I will never go back to that travel intensity.
Wow.
Because the return on my time investment today is much greater than it had been in the past. In fact, even in like our German office, for example, everybody works from home. Here in the States, we give people the option, and they opt to come to the office. But in Germany, it's like normal for people to work at home, and it works like a charm.
Right.
If anything, revenue goes up. You know, so COVID actually has been good for. I mean, I shouldn't be saying that. Maybe I feel guilty sometimes because I have friends that aren't that fortunate in their businesses. But COVID has not hurt our business at all. If anything, then the opposite. We're doing well.
And I think just before the pandemic, I believe it was January, you started another business,
Yes.
as if 3 companies wasn't enough, 4 companies wasn't enough. Talk about the need to create AV Waves and how it's going and why you did it.
Yes, the name of the company is AV Waves, and we're what's called a low voltage installation company. And actually there's quite a synergy between that company and other activities that we have, because a lot of the hardware that we install, we have already for many years purchased, sold, and marketed and manufactured in other companies that we have. We have never installed the product, so that's new. But it's not entirely weird. It's not like totally different. It's not like opening a restaurant. You know, it's not that different from what we've been doing. And what we do is we go into new construction, usually residential or light industrial, and do what's called pre-wire during construction. And then, so we install a speaker wire, network wire, and then upon completion of construction, we do the build-outs. So if it's your home, for example, you may want to have TVs, you want to have security, you want to have automated shades, you want to have yacht lights, you want to have automated doors, you want to have all the lights automated into a platform. And on and on and on. It's a whole list of, if you have a home theater even, we do home theaters.
That's very big during the pandemic, right?
Yeah, well, the pandemic was a problem for it. In this segment of our business interests, it was a problem because rightfully, people didn't want installers or strangers in their home.
Correct.
It's getting a little better now, but we were a startup that wasn't, you couldn't have picked a worse time for a startup, any startup, right? So now it's getting easier to get into the homes. But so that's what we do, and then the last step is, so it's pre-wire, then the build out, and then it's maintenance, and that's where a lot of our competition falls flat. Typically, once the system has been installed, there's a very poor follow-up and customer service, and that's what we focus on the customer service part, because my clients are the ones that have friends and neighbors that are interested in the services that we have to offer, and I need my existing clients happy, even though they will only give us service business, which is not very profitable, right. but it keeps them happy for the future.
And now, why is customer service so important to you?
Well, this is really the reason why we started it, because I used to be a client for low voltage installation or audio video installation services and spent good money on it. And then when the system goes down, which typically, like in a theater, happens on a Saturday afternoon when you have a bunch of friends over to watch a game, that's when it goes down, right? And you call your service provider and they don't answer the phone, you're pissed.
Yeah.
There's no other word, to use. You're not a happy camper.
Right.
And that's where. So one reason why we focus on it is because as a consumer, I know how, as a consumer of such services, and I know how important it is. The second reason is that we have a strong customer service background. In most of the businesses that we engage in, there's extreme competition. And to differentiate ourselves from competition, one of the ways is that we do offer excellent customer service. That mentality we're importing into our new company, AV Waves, and is easier for us. Our competition typically are technicians first. They may be brilliant technicians. They may be great programmers on the software that all of these systems use as a backbone, but they're not business people first. I'm a business person first. I'm not a technician. I hire a technician to do the install work, but I run the business side of things, and that will be focused on customer service, reliability, trustworthiness, loyalty. And this is what helped us grow other businesses, and that's why we will succeed. Our goal is to be the leading AV company in the Tampa Bay area in 5 years, and it's an aggressive goal, but I think we have a chance to get there.
No, I think you'll do it. And so on that note, what can folks at home who are watching this all over the Tampa Bay area and all over, what is an ideal customer for AV Waves? Who are you looking to meet?
That's a little difficult to define. I'll try. The average size deal that we close is $25,000. Okay, and so if I come to a home that has a 2,500, 3,000 square foot home, there's TVs, there's wiring, and then you add it all up. That's about what it comes out to. There are deals that go to $200,000 and $300,000. But we also have deals that are $1,500. Right. We had a law firm this week in Oldsmar. We hung, I think, 2 TVs, two cameras, security cameras, a couple of other smaller things. I think it was a $3,000 deal. We're happy to do it.
Yeah.
So there is really no, especially as a newcomer, we take the deals as we can get them. We work with our clients. Step number 1 always is what we call technology assessment. So we go in and say, what do you have? What's your starting point? What's your desired endpoint? And what does it take to get from A to B? That's what we call technology assessment. So then we go back and we come back with a proposal. And again, the value of the proposal is, what I like to do is give the big picture first.
Right.
Like this is your perfect outcome. Now, if your perfect outcome is more, if the perfect outcome is more than you wish to do at that point, that's totally fine. We can slice it and dice it into phases. So you might say, well, really right now I'm focusing on audio video. Or somebody might say I focus on security or safety for my family. And so it's really difficult to define the perfect client.
But it's good.
But you have to be a homeowner.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah, and in fact, the other thing that you shared with me during the pandemic is realtors are always selling and buying homes and getting them around. And they could be good referral sources.
That's right. And I identify realtors as a potential, if nothing else, referral group.
Yeah.
And I say this from a consumer standpoint, because we recently moved to a new home as a family. And I had this technology background, and we go and see different homes, and most homes didn't have the technology that I was hoping to find. And my agent, who was a great agent, but she wasn't not very knowledgeable with technology. She didn't have to be, but what she could have done is say, Michael, we'll make this technology happen for you. I can hook you up with this company over here. They can help you get you where you want to be. I would not have said, let's go. I would have said, okay, let's bring these people in. I like the home.
Right.
Let's see what they have to say. So I think real estate agents, especially when they sell luxury homes that are a little dated, would be a great referral source for us.
Well, we're going to make sure we have your contact information and all that on our screen when we right after we air this. And I want to talk about the community, because at Elevate Inc. we always talk about helping our city and Elevate Tampa, right? And you're really involved in a school called Keystone Prep, and I got the chance to visit it with you a couple weeks ago. It was an honor. But talk about why you started the school and why is it so important to you personally and professionally?
I didn't start the school.
You're involved, sorry.
Yeah, I'm involved. I'm the chairman of the board of trustees. It's a very young and small high school, private. We only have 42 students right now, but we focus on helping children that don't fit in other school or high school environments for different reasons. Our students may or may not be what's called on the spectrum, meaning having learning disabilities. Many of our students don't, many do. But all of them benefit from small classroom environments. The average size of our classroom is 7. That's the average number of students in our class. We offer full high school curriculum. We have full high school, state of Florida high school diploma. We have honors classes, AP classes, like you would expect in any high school. But our students are individually educated as best as possible. Many of our students have tutoring classes with their teachers outside of the regular school hours. We are a godsend for many families that suffer from their children not fitting into the normal school environments. We have a 100% graduation rate.
Wow.
Yes, we do. We have 88% of our students do actually go to college. And I can tell you this, Aakash, 0 of our students that when they come to our school would have expected to be able to go to college. 0. We're doing good work, we're doing important work, and I'm very proud to be affiliated. The reason why I am affiliated is because one of my daughters could have really benefited from the school, but the school didn't exist at the time. So I want to make sure that those families that have a need for that kind of education will find us and benefit from it.
And you know as well as any other...
And I told you before the interview today, don't get me started on Keystone Prep because I don't shut up about it.
And you know as well as any other not-for-profit that's going through, or even just any organization trying to raise money is going through a tough time because people can't have events, and now we're starting to have events. I know you're working on a silent auction and you're working on a breakfast event. I mean, and as chairman of the board, I know you get pulled in a lot of different directions. And so when business people see this interview, what do you want them to take away from what they can do to help Keystone Prep? What's your ask?
Well, first of all, because of the CARE Act, in 2020, 100% of your donations are tax deductible.
Very good.
Only this year.
So a couple months left.
Keep it coming. I mean, that's not only true for Keystone Prep, obviously. That's true for any donation.
Correct.
But it should be an extra motivation to a lot of business people that donate to be generous, even more generous this year.
Yeah.
No, what I want them to take away is that every person, business or otherwise, in their immediate family or their neighborhood or their extended family, have children that struggle. Mm-hmm. Don't tell me it ain't so.
Yeah.
You know, you can ignore it or deny it, but it is there. Those children and families, I would love to have them come to Keystone Prep for a tour. Just start with a tour, and you see the passion and love that we offer. That's a good start. If then the parents or the business, if they're business people, find it in their hearts to help us financially, they're more than welcome to do so, because we are struggling, as a lot of other nonprofits are. COVID has not been good for us, obviously. Right. We'll survive. We'll make it happen, but we need help.
Well, we're happy to help, and we'll be pushing out all the events you have. And I think that people that are on nonprofit boards and organizations that have to use this time to reevaluate, you guys have done a great job. And I know you mentioned earlier that during your work-life balance, you read. And a lot of people out there that are, want to become successful business people like yourself, they're looking for books to read. What's a book that's kind of you've read, or an improvement, or something in your life that you read that you look back at that's kind of been a tipping point to your success?
As a business book, From Good to Great. I guess it's most commonly known, but it had an impact on me. And I find that book very inspiring. It's a little dated now, I guess. I read the Bible. Mm-hmm. I don't consider myself a particularly deeply religious person, and struggling with the thought on whether or not I should be more affiliated or more closely or more actively with church activity. But I do read the Bible, and I find it instructive, calming, reassuring, educational. So that book suggestion probably was not what you expected, but there you have it.
Well, I think a lot of people are saying, you have a lot of, how many total employees do you have, do you think, with all your businesses?
That's a good question. Probably 400, 500.
So 400 employees in today's 2020, and we know this is not a normal year, but considering 2025, you and I are sitting down here, how many employees do you think you'll have? Or will you be in other businesses? Or what's the next future for Michael Thiel?
See, we have some production, and we employ probably 130 people or so in production, 150 maybe. But most of our business is distribution or services. And distribution services are more and more automated. So you increase your incremental revenue with fewer people than in the past. So to answer your question, I'm not sure there's going to be a significant increase. Now, we're taping this, so in 2025 you will ask me the same question, and we'll see what happens. I think if we significantly increase our employee base, would be through acquisition.
So and revenue-wise, you obviously want to grow in 5 years, and or you could merge or whatever you call it, acquire. So a lot of people have different leaders in their companies, and you have different positions. And so, what does your day look like? And all your direct reports, do you meet with everyone once a week or once a month, or how do you manage all the leaders in your team?
I do not have a lot of direct reports. One would think that with the activities that we have, that I do. But I am very blessed to have a business partner that I mentioned earlier. Yeah. He's been my business partner since 1988 or 1987, and he manages many, if not most, of our business interests. Completely independent. We talk every day, but he's not reporting to me. We're partners, right. And he has his people that report to him. So the segment of our partnership that I operationally manage, I probably have direct reports, 3 or 4, maybe 5, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Great.
And that doesn't mean I don't speak with more people. I do.
Of course.
But that's the way we're structured. But my reports, many of them have been with me for many years. So they themselves have their reports, right? And they know to only contact me when they can't solve a problem independently. And they also know not to come to me with the problem without offering a solution.
Right, that's a big important thing.
So they wouldn't come to me if they weren't sure about the solution, but I'm not CYA you, okay? You're not coming to me for an answer so that you're not the guilty person if the answer is wrong, or the action is wrong, or the solution is wrong. You see what I'm saying? So what they have to come with the problem if there's a problem, and if they don't know the answer, I need I don't know the answer because it's either A or B or C. They cannot come to me and say, I don't know the answer, give me one. That's not going to happen. And that's been developed over years, this kind of process. And so therefore, I can do a lot of things outside my office and Keystone Prep, for example, or sit here, for example, because I know shit's not going to hit the fan.
Right. And a lot of people talk about Tampa, and we talked about the growth of this community. I mean, since you moved here, it's definitely grown. It's not the same Tampa that we've known for the last 2 decades. What does Tampa mean to you as you came here, you obviously expanded your operations, you made a social life, you grew up, raised your family here. What do you see for the future of Tampa? Why are you excited to stay here? Because you could go anywhere. I mean, anyone could
I could go anywhere, sure.
But why stay here?
Well, of course, my family's here. My business is here. I find it a pleasant place. I find people are open, which for me as a German to say that is kind of weird because Germans have a rightful reputation for not being very open. I like the place. Obviously, the fact that our climate. My short answer is, what's there not to like?
Right.
Now, had I been planted into San Diego, or had I been planted into maybe Atlanta or San Antonio, I don't know. I don't know those places well. I might like them as well. But this is my home.
Yeah.
This is where I'm growing old. This is where I'm going to stay until for the rest of my life. Now, that doesn't mean I might not go back to Germany for a short while or to some other places. But I feel that there's no place in the world where I've spent more time than in Tampa. 2 of my 4 kids were born here, and they don't know any other place to live. We like Tampa. Even though, unlike, for example, you, I'm a homebody. No, I'm telling you, I'm not a big social butterfly kind of person.
Right.
So, for example, I know nothing about South Tampa. I never go to South Tampa. I probably should. I hear they have good restaurants.
Well, what we'll do is when the world gets back open, we'll definitely take you.
Yeah.
But Michael, we tell people at Elevating that our clients and our friends are the reason Tampa has swagger. Same with our community leaders, and we appreciate you. We think you're part of the reason Tampa has swagger. Is there anything else you want to add as we close out this interview?
I'm good, thank you.
We appreciate it. We'll get the contact information up, and we'll share the information about Keystone Prep.
Thank you, Aakash. I appreciate it very much.
This is Aakash Patel with Elevate Inc., and you've been watching an interview with Michael Thiel. This is Season 1, Episode 5. We appreciate you joining us today. Have a great day.